This hour, I'm going to talk about the holiday tomorrow. Because Thanksgiving is, except for the 4th of July, probably the most uniquely American holiday. And you kind of have your own traditions, but they all come off the same theme, right? You're going to have a turkey. Some weirdos will have ham. I'm sorry. Ham is like what you have for lunch before you have Thanksgiving dinner, okay? You don't serve ham on Thanksgiving. What kind of weirdo does that? I mean, I see these honey-baked ham ads on TV. I know people are going out and getting them, but don't get it. And then you have to have all of the side dishes, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, some cases sweet potatoes for some people. Of course, for dessert, you can have pumpkin and or apple pie. You kind of have expectations, right, on Thanksgiving? You have expectations of a certain kind of a day. Then you're going to invite some people over. In some cases, if you're involved with family, some of them will be people you do want to see, some you don't. There are some people who don't deal with family on the holidays. Then you might invite all your best friends over. Or people you know who don't have a date or don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, what have you. But the bottom line is that you and some other people are going to sit down and eat a meal that's not going to have any surprises. Not going to be any nouveau cuisine there. Not going to be any surprises happening, right? Well, what is amazing about Thanksgiving, it is the holiday that salutes not only gluttony, but comfort food. It's the ultimate, right? Well, let's talk about comfort food. I don't care if you're talking about like Marie Callender's or Boston Market or any of these places. We are talking comfort food to the max, right? And then you sit there like an overstuffed pig, maybe at my house it's in front of the fireplace, or I don't know what it is at your house, front of the football game, whatever. You sit there belching and nodding off because the tryptophan is kicking in and what have you, right? And you're just kind of sitting there feeling all bloated and feeling like crap, and that's Thanksgiving. And you know what to expect. The amazing thing about Thanksgiving is it's not only comfort food, but it is a day where you know what to expect. If it's relatives, you know which relatives are going to be fun to be around, who's got the noisy, annoying kids, who's going to get drunk and spoil the day. Ever have that person, that one person, right? We used to have Aunt Tina when I was a kid. I swear we did, Aunt Tina. And the speculation would always be whether Aunt Tina would be so bombed by the end of the day that she would start ruining the day with all these recriminations and vulgarities and nastiness, and until finally everybody would have to say, great seeing you again, Tina. Every year it was the same thing. You knew what you were getting. But that's the thing about Thanksgiving, right? You know what's coming. You know who's coming over. You know what's going to happen. And that's the very nature of Thanksgiving. I don't know what you do for the 4th of July, but Thanksgiving is as predictable as I'm standing here. May I say, by the way, that I was in the Subway sandwich shop on the Sunset Strip at Crescent Heights a couple of nights ago. Get this. It's a sign that was obviously printed on somebody's inkjet printer with a big picture of a turkey. It said, open on Thanksgiving. Now, there are some people who are not having the kind of Thanksgiving they expected. Imagine you're going into the Subway on Thanksgiving. Hi, can I get a turkey sub? I wonder how many turkey subs they'll sell at Subway tomorrow. I'll have the turkey sub. Because people want to feel like it's Thanksgiving. I'll have the turkey sub. Could you put some jalapenos on that? And by the way, can I get a couple of those Otis Spunkmeyer chocolate chip cookies with that? Yeah, and some Doritos. Yeah, that's good. I like lettuce, tomato, bell peppers. Do you have any stuffing you could put on that? Stovetop, anything, something festive, a little gravy on that, maybe? They don't make it like that at Subway. Come on. But, come on, Subway. It's like these pathetic people you see at McDonald's on Thanksgiving. You ever see those people? I have had my Thanksgivings where I was living in a city where I didn't know anybody. In the radio business, it's like the military. You go where the work is, and there were years when I arrived in town and I didn't know anyone. So on Thanksgiving, I might make myself you pick up one of those butterball turkey breasts, and make some small amount of stovetop stuffing or something just to kind of keep in the game. Watch both NFL games, kind of like that. But please, I implore you, and I love McDonald's as much as the next person. I love Subway, too. But please, don't go to these places on Thanksgiving Day. Stay home. There is nothing more depressing than seeing people filing into these places on a day like that. Oh, God. Anyway, Thanksgiving should not be Subway, should not be McDonald's. You are going to be at your home or the home of somebody you know, hopefully. Turkey will be served. Number of side dishes that are kind of related. I mean, you can substitute one or the other, but there'll be mashed potatoes, there'll be corn, there'll be sweet potatoes, etc. Right? Pumpkin pie, apple pie. That's the deal. Some people will drink beer. Some people will drink wine. Some people will be like Aunt Tina. They'll be drinking 7 and 7s all day until they're yelling obscenities at everybody. But you know pretty much what to expect. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because in my life I have had Thanksgivings that were, not the kind of day you would expect on Thanksgiving. In fact, I think of like an author, like Hunter S. Thompson, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Have you ever had a holiday turn into that? I will never forget. I was living in Manhattan in an apartment building. I'm like an apartment 2D, And I was in one of these situations where I'd just broken up with somebody. It's that couple thing. You know that couple thing? You're a couple, right? It's you and him, or you and her. You're a couple. Now, all your friends are couple friends, right? You've lost all your single friends. They're gone. So now, everybody you socialize with is a couple. Even when you go out like just the guys are all part of couples, right? Very few single guys in there. Women, same thing. All the gals, they're all couples, right? Now you break up with that person, and everybody you knew feels weird being around you because you were part of a couple. They knew the couple. They don't want you the third wheel or the fifth wheel. They want you the couple. So I remember this one year I had just broken up with somebody who I'd been with for a long time. And I'm living in apartment 2D in this apartment building in Manhattan. And so what I'm going to do, I've decided, is I'm going to invite a bunch of friends over. Usually, and of course, it's that dysfunctional group who don't talk to their families. I was one of those usually, right? They don't talk to their families. They don't talk to their friends. The friends are all going off to be with their families. And I always got the orphans on Thanksgiving. I got all the people who had no place to go. Which, frankly, frequently made for a much more interesting Thanksgiving than being with Aunt Tina, okay? But that's beside the point. Anyway, here we all are, right? It's going to be this Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm telling everybody I make a great turkey, okay? I can cook. Don't worry, guys. I know there's no women coming over, but I can cook. All right? So you guys just come over, and if you want to bring some wine, bring some beer, whatever you're going to bring over, come on over. Bring it. So I go out and I buy myself this huge turkey. All right? And I buy myself, potatoes, and the sweet potatoes, all these side dishes. I actually made stuffing from scratch. And bought a couple of pies. And I'm ready to rock. Anyway, the turkey's in the oven. And, it's going to take about 5-6 hours to cook. And so the guys start drifting over, including my friend Tim. And Tim came over with a mason jar in his hand. And he said, this pot just came in from Oregon, and it's the best effing pot you've ever smoked. And call me kooky, but I'm saying to myself, hey, wait a minute, this is like Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm going to be like cooking and stuff. What? that pot, smoking pot. I've never smoked pot on Thanksgiving. I smoke pot lots of times, but not on Thanksgiving. Especially if I'm cooking. I don't want to forget what I have to do, or leave the turkey in too long, or put it in the oven frozen, or something like that. I want to do everything right. Well, Tim opens that mason jar. And you know how when a mason jar is like vacuum sealed, it has the kind of, you open it and it's like vacuum sealed, and that smell started wafting out of that jar. And this was the most potent marijuana I had ever laid my nose on. It was unbelievable. So Tim is starting to boot up the old bong in the back room, and meanwhile the other guys are arriving. You know, the first football game is on. The Thanksgiving parade has ended, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. And now we're rolling into the football games. And there's Tim. He's got this, like 4-foot-high bong sitting on my coffee table in apartment 2D. In addition to Tim, I had friends coming from the building, other people who, like, their families were out of town or too far away and they weren't talking. Come on down to my apartment, come on down. And people are starting to arrive. They're starting to shuffle in. And there's Tim with this big bong sitting on the coffee table. And he's got it filled up with water, and the bubbles are starting to go, and you see him sucking down all this smoke. And, of course, he looks like he has sucked down about 16 cubic yards of marijuana smoke. So, come on, try it. Come on. So, sure enough, I step up to the plate, and meanwhile, I've got that turkey in the oven, right, and sucking down marijuana smoke. And this stuff was this was the kind of stuff you took one hit and you almost fell down. But did I stop at one hit? No, because it was so goddamn good. I kept going. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't stop at one. You know when I stopped? I don't remember. I just kept going. Yeah. I didn't even let that stop me. I just kept going. So now, I'm weaving. The turkey's in the oven, and I'm there, basting. I got that big basting bulb, and I'm, starting to baste the turkey and stuff. And things started to get a little cloudy after this, and I'm starting to, chow down on tortilla chips, nuts, whatever I bought at the store. We're starting to chow down on all this stuff, right? That's all there. And other people now have walked into my apartment, some of whom I haven't even invited. They heard I'm having Thanksgiving in my apartment. They smell the smoke. They smell the turkey. The door's open. Somebody left the door open. People are coming over. I don't even like. They're just coming in. Hey, what's going on? And you hear Tim, come on in. Come on. Hey, come on in. It's like my apartment. Come on in. You doing anything? Come on in. So now, this is supposed to be a day where it's pretty predictable, normal. I've got all these people from my apartment building all stoned off their ass, and I'm trying to make a turkey. In the meantime, I'm inflicting all kinds of wounds on myself. I stick my arm in the oven to pull the roasting pan out, and my arm hits, the rack inside the oven, and I, scald myself. I've got, a third-degree burn on my arm. And you know what I'm talking about? And then, I'm, squirting, I'm squirting the gravy. Call this stuff gravy. It's that basting fluid. It's made out of vegetable oil, and it spatters on the side of the oven, and then the flame shoots up from the gas underneath. There's sparks flying in the oven and stuff. But the turkey is doing okay. It's cooking. It's stuffed. It's cooking. A little messy. But it's starting to look good. Football games are playing. The bong is going. Other people. We're now up to about 18, 19 people in my apartment. About 4 of whom I had never met before. 3 of whom I had met and wished I never had. And then the friends who I had invited and whatever. Bottom line here is that I don't know when this started, but people are eating like pigs. I mean, they're eating whatever's in sight. And at one point I open the oven, and there's the turkey. And people started coming on going, ooh, that looks good. So they start reaching in. It starts with taking pieces of stuffing out of the cavity at the end of the turkey. They start to take pieces of stuffing And the turkey goes, "You tasted this? This is good. Hey, have you had some of this stuffing? Come here, come here, come here. Hey, that is good. You got a fork? Give me a fork." Now it's gone from taking like the crust of the stuffing. It's gone to like sticking the fork halfway into the turkey and taking these mounds of stuffing out. These people are eating stuffing. Just eating out of the turkey. Passing the fork around. I mean, the people don't even know the fork is going in the turkey. Then that gives way to people starting to reach in and they're like starting to take like little pieces of skin off. Ooh, it's really good. Look at that. It's like golden brown. Look at that. It's beautiful. Let me just take a little piece of the skin. I'm just going to take a little piece. Little piece, little piece, little piece, little piece. Till finally, at some point, I look in the oven, and this turkey looked like it had been through the war. There was like no skin left. Half the stuffing had been eaten out of it. Because there was no skin on it, the meat was kind of cooking funny. It was like drying out. I mean, the skin has fat in it, That's how you keep the turkey moist. That's what you want, the skin on it. So you got like this dry, dark meat from people picking the skin off the drumsticks and everything. By the end of the day, like the turkey came out and everybody is like too sick to eat any turkey. The turkey, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, nobody wanted to see it because they've been eating all goddamn day. Now, I've got pies. I'm ready to start serving pie until somebody goes into my pantry and they find a box of Duncan Hines brownie mix, which now somebody gets the bright idea, that would be a lot more fun than pumpkin pie. Well, long story short, and I could sit here and tell you this story all night. Long story short, this day was just hellacious. I mean, everybody was drunk. Everybody was stoned. Everybody was sick. Nobody wanted to eat dinner when it was ready. Nobody ate what was prepared. Everybody just did whatever they wanted to do. It was total goddamn anarchy, and it didn't end until Friday morning when I wake up and there's 6 bodies lying on my living room floor, for God's sake. Have you ever had a Thanksgiving that was like that?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. The Tom Leykis Show. Day before Thanksgiving. One of those unorthodox Thanksgivings. If you had one, let's say hello here to Shauna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Hi, Shauna.
Long time, second time.
Cool.
Wanted to tell you, I had a Thanksgiving a couple years ago where my mother and my aunt nearly killed each other. Some people seem to think that they have to just get together with family just because it's tradition, and I honestly think that some people just shouldn't be around each other.
Oh, I agree with you.
They don't regularly talk, and when they get together, they can't do anything but bitch and complain and argue. We were at my aunt's house, and she decided that she would make some ridiculous dinner with every side dish was nothing you had ever seen before. She made duck for Thanksgiving. I mean, the woman was out of her mind. We thought that when dinner was over, we'd probably just have a piece of pie. And my cousin mistakenly bought sweet potato pie, so we couldn't even have a piece of gosh dang pumpkin pie.
Wow.
It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, before they nearly throttled each other's throats, we got the heck out of there and had our own Thanksgiving on Friday, the day after.
Oh, my God. I just want to have the turkey and the stuffing and the cranberry sauce.
Why do you got to throw something crazy into the mix?
That's all I want.
I don't know what to do.
I don't want anything else. Anything else. Get me the cranberry sauce. Put it on my plate, please.
For goodness sake, but I would have liked the bong hit for sure if you could take me out with one.
I'll give you a bong hit, baby. Here you go. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Josh on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Hi, Josh.
Short time, first time?
Thank you.
So, me and my girlfriend are both rock climbers, and vacations like this, we always go out rock climbing. So we'll go out there in a day. We're going to do a nice, long one, hundreds and hundreds of feet. We get pretty warm while we're climbing, so we had, shirt, pants, no jackets or anything. We get to the top, and it's dark, because when I asked somebody what time it was, they showed me their watch. It was an analog, and I got the hour 1 1 hour off.
Uh-huh.
So it gets up dark, we have no light, and we wound up sleeping on the top of the cliff, and it gets pretty cold. I mean, we were 5,000 or 6,000 feet up, and we were shivering for the whole night, slept, not at all, really. And
why were you not in front of a turkey? I don't understand this. Why were you not in front?
We were going to eat Thanksgiving dinner that night. We went on the Thursday, and we were going to fly to the end of the day and then go eat.
See, again, in my head, I wake up, and now maybe it's because I do the cooking, okay? In my mind, I wake up, and I'm starting to prepare my dinner. I'm not waking up going rock climbing. I don't get it.
Well, you don't get much chance when you have a 9-to-5 job, so any weekend or vacation that you can get.
How about Friday? How about the day after? Go ahead. Tell us your story.
Me?
Yeah, you. Go ahead. Tell us.
That's it. That's the
that's the whole story.
I spent my Thanksgiving freezing to death on the top of a mountain.
And you never came down?
We came down the next day, and we sure did eat after that, but it didn't really go as planned.
And did people, not know where you were? Would they put out an all-points bulletin for you?
They knew we were going to be in that area, but they didn't know we would be at the top of that particular cliff.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it was no good.
You're not going to do that again, are you?
We're going climbing this weekend, but we're bringing headlamps with us.
Yeah, but you're not going to go till after you had your Thanksgiving dinner. Don't screw it up.
Oh, come on.
Please.
It's good for you. Hey, why don't you take me out with your favorite ever besides blowing me up?
My favorite ever besides blowing you up?
Yeah.
What would be my favorite? Well, Kobe style, of course, is my favorite after blowing people up, of course.
This is about us. She's so special to me. Yeah, it beats in my heart. Yeah, the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Billy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tommy. How are you doing?
Hi, Billy. How are you?
And I really do care.
Oh,
I'm
good.
great. Former Long Islander. I'm out here living in California as well.
Very nice.
I was running a restaurant. I had about, a dozen 20-something employees that were also from other places in the country who didn't have a place for Thanksgiving. Brought them all up to my place. Went over the top to do the whole 9 yards of traditional Thanksgiving, from the green bean casserole, the turkey, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
One of the people I invited was also a customer. A few extra people I fit in. He was the local drug dealer. So they all showed up, and dinner was taking me a little longer than I thought, so they had about 2 or 3 hours to kill entertaining themselves in the living room. He entertained them with a good 8-ball or so of line. I set a beautiful table. I set everything out. I come out, quickly brush myself off, and walk out. Dinner is served. I bring them all in. They sit down at the table with hands in their laps. Not one person could even lift a knife and fork.
Now, Dean tells me you own a particular restaurant today. Is that right?
No, I'm out of the business now.
Out of the business.
Yeah, I did. I left there. That place. I bought my own, and then I got squeezed out of it in a land project, and I got.
Oh, really?
I got turned into a soft shoulder of a new highway.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was a life experience.
All right, Billy. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
Okay, Mike.
All right. Well, I have a pretty funny story about Thanksgiving. It happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Bend, Oregon. Have you ever heard of that place?
I have heard of Bend, Oregon, yes.
Okay, well.
And I think I had the Bends once as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a hippie type town.
Yes.
We mostly did a lot of snowboarding up there. I'm
right.
Mount Bachelor. So,
mm-hmm.
anyways, I had some friends there that were pretty big dealers and growers and everything, and they invited us over for Thanksgiving, my wife and myself.
Uh-huh.
So we show up, and we bring the Cranium game, the game where you sit around and it's got a bunch of, the game Cranium?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Okay, whatever. The point is that I brought the video camera and Cranium and brought some liquor over and stuff just to be nice, and they had a great feast, right? Well, inside of the feast was what you would call green butter and green mashed potatoes.
Tell everybody. Now I know what you mean, but tell everybody what you mean by green butter and green mashed potatoes.
I don't know how. I really don't know how they make it, but it has to do with the THC in the pot goes into the butter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's filled with tons of THC. So
right.
I get about halfway through my plate, and I look at my wife, and I'm like, "Geez, what's going on?" And we're just laughing, having a great time. Before you know it, my buddy, I can't say his name, probably get pissed off, but he's like, yeah, this is a pretty fun Thanksgiving, isn't it? And all of a sudden it's about 6 o'clock, and everybody in the whole room, there's about 8 of us, all just laughing, acting like idiots, and then we started playing this game Cranium, make up our own rules. I have the whole thing on videotape, and it is absolutely hilarious.
My God. You put it on videotape. Yeah, you could be convicted for that.
I know. That's all right. Nobody will see it. But the thing is the whole place, everybody was out of there by 8.
Wow.
2 hours. I have all my liquor back. Nobody even touched anything. My wife took her 30 minutes to walk home.
Uh-huh.
We lived a half a block away. I kid you not. She left way before me because I wanted to just hang out and talk to my boys a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll meet you back at home. And I see her, like, just kind of wandering by the alley and by the yard, about 20 feet down.
Wow. That's an amazing story, Mike. Thanks very much for the call. The Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. Did you have an unorthodox Thanksgiving at any time? I'd like to know about it at 1-800-5800-866. It's Gio on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Gio.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Okay.
Thanksgiving story for you.
Yeah.
We moved to California, my wife and I, just last November. I got here a week before Thanksgiving. My wife's sister's married. She's married to a white guy. We're Latinos. And his family, we haven't met them yet. They invite everybody to come over to their house for Thanksgiving. So they come down and pick us up. They live in Pahrump. We're staying in Burbank. We get to Pahrump, and everything's going fine.
This is Pahrump, Nevada.
Pahrump, Nevada, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're all getting, everybody's getting along. Everything's going on okay. Her brother-in-law and I go to the store to pick up some stuff we forgot, toothpaste, whatever the case may be. We get back. There's nobody in the living room. My wife's in the room crying. Her sisters are crying, and we don't know what's going on. So I'm like, what happened? It turns out my wife was teaching her niece a Spanish song. So she tells her to sing it for her grandmother, right? Her grandmother went crazy. She said, Amber, not in my house. That's why I moved away from California. I didn't want to hear that kind of stuff. Now my wife took offense to that. So she's crying. Her sister's crying. Everybody's, feeling like, what are we doing in this house? They obviously don't like,
Oh, my God. Oh, that's a nightmare. Oh, my God.
Right. So, and her sister's, trying to calm my wife down, saying, no, she didn't mean it that way. It was a mistake, this and that. And, I'm like, they picked us up. We got no way of getting home. My wife's like, we got to rent a car. We got to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. Her sister talks her into staying for Thanksgiving dinner, the next day, because we got there the day before. So I'm like, okay, well, I go, if you want to stick it out, we'll just stick it out, we'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. And his mom came down the next morning. She apologized. She said she didn't mean it. Everything was okay, this and that. So I'm like, okay, so we're staying for dinner. Next thing you know, there's a lot of tension in this house already. And so his brother said something to him that he didn't like. So they get into it, and they start fighting. And this is a fist fight. They start trying to throw each other, trying to, beat each other down. His brother's bleeding. He takes off running out of the house. The father's screaming. He's like, my Thanksgiving's ruined. He's gone. It turns out we just had Thanksgiving by ourselves, sitting in the room, They made all this big dinner, and nobody sat down to eat but us.
Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. What a mess. I hate when that stuff happens.
Yeah. There's a first time for everything, I guess.
Now, what happened to the family after that? Was that like the beginning of the end of a marriage or anything?
Well, no. Needless to say, we're not going over there again this year, but, no, we just kind of we just laughed about it, I guess, and, what can you do?
Yeah, well, I guess what can you do?
Tom.
Really?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Anytime I see a woman driving like a Beamer, isn't it natural? Don't you just say, I wonder who paid for that?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't say to yourself, well, there's a successful woman. She's probably in real estate. You say, my God, look at that bimbo. Who paid for that car?
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's Brett on the Tom Leykis Show. Have you ever had an unorthodox Thanksgiving? Hello.
Yes, I have, Tom. Hello and happy holidays.
Thank you, and the same to you.
You and the crew. Yeah, back in the 80s, you know, we were all partiers having fun and did a lot of cocaine and started cooking dinner. You know, about 3, we all got together as an orphans deal. They were a bunch of actors, and all of us from, you know, the East Coast got together and decided to do this big Thanksgiving. And, oh, my God, by about 5 o'clock, everything was cooked well and done. We all did it right, but we were doing blow at about 3.
Oh, my God.
Drinking and drinking.
Now, is blow, let me ask you a question. Is blow really the right drug to do? If you're going to do a drug on Thanksgiving Day, is blow your drug?
No. Absolutely not. That is the last thing you want.
Of course.
But, you know, it was the 80s. We were all having a good time, and we were working in the movie industry, and everyone's having fun, and we all were good buddies, and we ended up cooking it and taking it out, and ended up drinking and partying the rest of the night, going to a bar, coming back to the house, and we did a little orgy kind of thing almost.
Uh-huh.
You know, we all hooked up and did our...
Everyone hooking up on Thanksgiving. You're all hooking up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To the bar.
Let's all hook up.
Yeah, and ended up waking up the next morning and having Thanksgiving dinner.
You had a headache the next morning, too, didn't you? Come on, all that blow. Come on.
Big time.
Yeah.
But we all...
If you did it right, you had a big, crushing headache the next day.
Headache, hungover, nightmare.
Oh, no, hey, you know what? Anyone who's done blow knows this, okay? The next day, hangovers pale by comparison. There is nothing worse than having done blow the day before, which means you did it until 5 or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then when you wake up 4 or 5 hours later, because you can't sleep, you wake up, you've got this crushing headache that is unimaginable, that makes hangovers look like child's play.
Yep. That's why...
I've been there. I know. I did it. I know all about it.
No longer around in my life.
Yeah.
And...
how do you take the edge off of that?
Oh,
Dean says Valium. I don't know. I trust Dean. He's like my pharmacist.
Yeah. I might have to call Rush Limbaugh for some of that.
Yeah, I bet he would know what to do. 1-800-5800-TOM. Easy, our telephone number. Let's say hello to... Oh, look at some of these calls. Kevin on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
All right, Kevin.
Oh, I've got a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
This happened about a dozen years ago. First time I met my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
We had a big Thanksgiving planned at our house. Had about 18 people there, mostly my family. Had my boss and his wife, and we did up a real nice Thanksgiving dinner. My mother-in-law shows up, and she gets herself a glass of wine, and she's talking and very jovial, and everybody's getting along great. And we notice that she slips off to the kitchen, and she comes back with another full glass of wine, and you know, she does this several times, and we notice she starts slurring her words. And she started getting worse and worse, and so I asked my wife to, just say something to her and, tell her to go easy on the wine. So she followed her in the kitchen when she went for another glass. Well, by that time she was already lit, and she got into a fight with my wife in the kitchen.
Did she get into a fight with everybody? Is that what happened?
She got into a fight with my wife first. And she started, you could hear them yelling at each other.
I'm sure that's when the exodus began. I have no doubt about it.
The Tom Leykis Show.